The Democratic Alliance in KwaZulu-Natal is visiting schools affected by floods in Ladysmith. This as mop-up operations continue. Newzroom Afrika's Linda Mnisi is covering that story for us, and he joins us for an update in terms of what we need to know this hour. Linda.
Oh, do you remember that yesterday the mop-up operations was underway in various schools here in Ladysmith? That follows, of course, the floods that have now subsided. So every business here in this area, every school is trying to deal with the after effects of those floods that swept through this particular area. You'll remember yesterday when we last spoke, the textbooks that were coming out that have been affected by the heavy rains. I mean, continuously on a year-to-year basis we hear of the shortage of textbooks, and from the power that we're seeing today, it seems more and more books are coming here. I'm seeing here a grade 12 textbook, New Generation History. These are textbooks that learners use on a daily basis, and of course when this incident has struck, then it really speaks to what next and how the school will of course recover from this. I'm seeing more interactive English. These are textbooks that learners use for English and for many other languages. A lot of them are now have been soaked in the rain and the water that swept through this particular school. You'll remember the other classroom that still had water yesterday when we spoke to you. I mean, take a look at that. Take a look at that, Dudu. Those are all the textbooks that the students could have benefited from, but they're now all wasted in these heavy rains. Another thing that I'm seeing here are, some past papers that perhaps learners use, to do their revision. It's the beginning of the year, and one can imagine what the school principal, before we get to the Democratic Alliance, let's get an update from the school's principal. Mr. Rampeth, thank you so much for your time. It looks like there is more and more damage that has been done by this rain.
Absolutely, sir. As we said yesterday, was too soon to forecast and to tell you exactly the extent of the damage. But today, as you can see, mop-up operations are still taking place, and as I'm seeing the books being dumped over there, it breaks my heart, sir. And luckily, the people from the legislature are here, and I'm hoping and praying they're going to assist us. But that's just part of it. Some of the classrooms need attention, and I'm hoping, look, as the days progress, we should see, some improvement in the infrastructure, and also, more especially in my resources.
I mean, when you look at the number of textbooks that have been damaged, do you have a figure? And what else that we didn't see yesterday? Yesterday, I know we saw the tiles were coming off.
Absolutely. Look, as I said, we were planning to reopen school from last week, and I bought in 2 or 3 brush cutters, and we had it stored where it normally stays. And I asked the guy yesterday, listen, please tell me the new stuff that we bought for cutting of the grass. He said, sir, that's already in the water as well. So that, I don't know if that's damaged, but I'm hoping, positive, maybe perhaps you can retrieve some of that equipment and use for the cutting and whatever it has to be done over here.
Looking at the work that's been done already, I know your teachers, some of the staff members, the cleaning staff, and everybody has had their hands full, really.
Yes.
So when do you think the school will reopen?
Look, I would say sometime next week, but I'm being positive that come Monday, my matrics will be here, and maybe the grade 8s, to have them here for induction, to show them they're in a high school now. This is what, to induct them basically. But I don't know, because I also have to get directive from them, because they have to give me the clearance to say, listen, the school is now ready to accept the learners.
And just quickly, the department, what is it saying?
Well, basically the Department of Education, I haven't heard much from them, honestly speaking. The director was here yesterday after you guys left, and she did an assessment over here. She did try to look at the personnel and the service providers in town, but that was a huge challenge for her. But then, luckily enough, Alimdad has come on board. They are cleaning as you can see, the car area, the walking area, and wherever the silt is. So I'm hoping, the department can come on board, because the resources is my biggest challenge right now.
All right, they have it to resources, the biggest challenge. Let's quickly rope in the Democratic Alliance's Francois Rogers. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, you're seeing, as you walk into the school, the first thing that greets you are the textbooks, and we know how important those are. There are a number of schools that still complain that they don't have enough textbooks for all the learners, and we're seeing all of them wasted in this water.
Yeah, obviously it's a sad sight when you see it, and you know schools should be open already and they should be functioning. Having engaged with the headmaster, he said that it's critical that textbooks are now replaced before they can become partially functional. And our spokesperson, Dr. Imran Kika, will now engage with the MEC of Education to see how the province can assist, and that we can get the school up and running and we can get the children into the classrooms and on the benches and learning.
Talk to us about, that some of the other schools. We know your team has been on the ground since yesterday, day one of the reopening of schools. Talk to us about what you've noted in other schools and the damage that these floods have caused.
Well, look, one must also realize that we're coming out of July. The anarchy that we had in July, we had numerous schools that were destroyed during the anarchy. That cost was estimated at about 100 million. And now we're dealing with this type of devastation through natural events. So the Department of Education is really on the back foot here now. And province through Treasury and through its finance committees now needs to look at how it can reprioritise funds to ensure that we get our schools repaired and we start teaching, which is what should be happening.
All right, there you have it, Dudu. The DA's Francois Rogers there speaking to us about, what they've been able to see throughout the school. You see some of the people from the school as well as that organization that we were speaking about earlier on that, came to assist. I'll just rope him in quickly. Thank you so much for your time. We understand you've been here as an organization, Al-Imdad, yes, Foundation, assisting the school from yesterday. Talk to us about some of the things that you've been able to do and provide for the school.
Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to highlight to our viewers of your TV station. The Al-Imdad Foundation had started this operation from day one, that was on Sunday. And at about 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we found the river waters rising, and it broke at two areas, the banks. And that caused excessive, what they call flooding. Myself coming from a flooded area where I stay here next to the Windsor High School and been to 20 floods, so we understand the situation. What has happened then, the Al-Imdad Foundation was asked by Search and Rescue to assist, and our Search and Rescue teams have assisted with the SAPS Search and Rescue, and we went out and helped and rescued a lot of people. And also the Al-Imdad Foundation, on day one, all these evacuees who were affected by the flood were taken to the indoor soccer complex, and they were given mattresses, blankets and food. As I talk now, in the next hour or so, they will be given their lunch. And as you see here, this is very important to understand. The Al-Imdad Foundation, schools have opened, and we're going to back to school functionality program which the Al-Imdad Foundation is involved in this province. And when the principal had called us in desperation, Al-Imdad, can you please come and help us with your tankers and your power hoses? Thus you find us over here assisting to get the school cleaned up. And we all understand that our learners are supposed to be in the classroom. Our children are supposed to be studying. Our leaders of tomorrow should have been in the class. So we stopped all our work and we brought in our staff from all over the country to come out here and assist and work on the ground here quickly at the Windsor High School and try our best in line with our school functionality program to come and help the school and the principal. We hope, God willingly, that the school gets back to normality as soon as possible when the principal decides, or the governing body or so. But we are at the school and we're going to continue helping and cleaning up the school only for one reason, to get our future leaders back in the classroom.
All right, there you have it. Representative from the Al-Imdad Foundation, who has been working here tirelessly since yesterday. They arrived today with all the equipment that you're seeing, trying to help the teachers as well as some of the staff members that have been working here at the school. So it's day 2 of the reopening of schools and there's still no learners. So the principal is hoping that at least by next week they'll be able to have learners back in class and have all the teachers also still teaching. As you can see, I mean, the number of textbooks that are coming out in the water that was on the ground, it tells you a story about how the floods have really ravaged this particular area, particularly the street that we are on right now, Forbes Street. So there's many more that will come out of here, including those that are outside. I mean, if you look at the water that's still here on the ground and the number of textbooks that are yet to be taken out, kind of also gives you an idea of the extent of the damage and what still needs to be done by the school.
Indeed, Linda Mnisi bringing us that restoration project underway in Ladysmith at that particular school following heavy rains. Thank you very much for that comprehensive update.